My connection with Indonesia goes back 53 years. I went there originally very naive, didn't know anything about anything, but fell in love with Indonesia fairly quickly. My name is Hywel Coleman. I used to be a lecturer here in the School of Education at the University of Leeds. But before that, and since being a lecturer here, I lived in Indonesia. So my connection with Indonesia goes back 53 years. I went there originally as a volunteer English teacher in 1972. Very naive, didn't know anything about anything, but fell in love with Indonesia fairly quickly. Indonesia is not well known in the UK. It's the fourth largest country in the world, population of 280 million. And it's incredibly diverse. A term that's often used is hyperdiversity. For example, there are more than 700 languages and many different cultures, and as we see from textiles, many different ways of producing textiles. The uses of textiles are varied. People have their own beliefs about textiles, so it's a really interesting area to explore. The first textile I received was, I'd been in Indonesia for about 4 months, and I'd been teaching in a small town in Sumatra. And at the end of my time there, I was getting ready to go back to Jakarta. And the people gave me a textile. And I thought this was surprising. I didn't know why or what it was. But that was the beginning of the collection, because a few days later, somebody else gave me a textile, a completely different type of textile. And this kept on happening. And I saw that people are extremely generous. I mean, generous in many, many ways. And one particular distinctive way of being generous is to give textiles. People give textiles to each other. Organizations give textiles to visitors. Families give textiles to each other in wedding ceremonies and so on. So after a while, I began taking this more seriously, reading about Indonesian textiles, and I felt that because people were giving these to me, I had to respect them in some way. So I started taking notes about what I was being given, giving each textile a number, a reference number, and that was the beginning of the catalogue. Then I came to Leeds, taught for 17 years, went back to Indonesia. And when I went back to Indonesia, I thought it would be silly to take all the textiles back to Indonesia again. So I asked the university if they would like to have the collection. I knew that textiles is strong at Leeds. Leeds is well known for textile studies. I talked to Michael Hahn and to Jill, and the university agreed to accept the collection, which I'm very happy about, relieved that it's found a good home, and I know that it will be well looked after, and I hope that it will be used for research purposes, not just a nice set of cloths to look at, but that people will study them and think about the social context and the meanings that these textiles have. This is the second exhibition that's been based on the collection. The first one was about 8 years ago, and that focused on one particular region of Indonesia. This one focuses on one particular technique of producing textiles, which is batik. And one of the things that interests me most about batik is that this is a technique that began in one island, Java, but over the centuries, and especially over the last 30 years, batik is being produced in many different parts of the country. And this reflects political changes, because now people are responding to decentralization. in a way that wasn't possible previously. And so the title of the exhibition is Batiks of Indonesia, Java and Beyond. It's and beyond, which is particularly interesting because now we see batik from Sumatra, batik from Bali, batik from all over the place.